Close your eyes, feel the sound. Brindle speaks, the world unwound. Guiding light, the path is found. Brindle's vision, hear the call. Messages rise, they break the wall. Hope in the echoes, hope for
Welcome to Brindle's Vision. I've got some things in store for you tonight. Little twists and turns here and there and everywhere. Oof, including something new. All right, so tonight I'll be using a brand new deck. I literally just opened it yesterday, and this is the first reading from it. Normally, I do a reading for myself first to get a feel for the messages, but this felt like it was outside of me as well and needed to be shared for the collective. The new deck, it's called The Wisdom of the Hidden Realms. It has a familiar message with a new look. And it's a little bit shorter, fewer cards this time. Okay. So we had the Arrow Master to kick things off. Even the greatest archer can miss their mark if they're up in their head. When out of focus, thinking about something else, the target can become blurred, and when the arrow is released, it can veer in the wrong direction. This card is about trust, determination, and intention. Are you clear about your intentions, or are you just firing off, hoping to catch something? Are you too emotionally attached to the outcome in a negative way? When you are not trusting yourself, emotions can actually come into your energies and mess things up. The Arrow Master also points to trusting the process of the divine. We've heard time and again that Spirit or God has a plan for us. Sometimes that just doesn't appear the way we think it should. And because we haven't detached from expectations, that outcome looks grim. If you remember the law of detachment, the outcome will look better. But here's the thing, though, and someone needs to hear this. If you don't pull back on the bowstring and release, you'll never have an outcome. So let the divine guide you when you feel lost. And for the rest of the time, put on your poker face. Next card from the new deck is the Sun Dancers. Now these allies, something to know about this deck is that upright they're allies, reversed they're challengers. Today they're allies. So these allies are here to remind you of the laws of success and praise. They mildly contradict what the Arrow Master has to say about expectation, but not really. They're here to remind you to expect the best. Can you do that without getting attached to the outcome? Can you expect the best results regardless of what that actually means in the end? It's tough to do when there are needs to be filled, especially in this day and age. Praise and celebrate the outcome before knowing what it actually is. This helps to align you on an energetic level with that outcome. Humans try to put a deadline on when things should be completed all the time. Even though everything happens within divine timing. I bet you could think of things that you tried to force and bend time to complete that didn't turn out very well. A few of you came to mind on this one, but I won't call out names. Focus more on the journey and get acquainted with the feeling of victory as you take each step towards completion. And finally, here's something you can say as you begin your work each day. Thank you in advance for the prosperity you have set aside for me. I'm grateful for the abundance of what I already have and align with receiving what is mine that I have not yet reached. or something like that. But mean it. Feel as if you've already received it, so there's room in your storehouse for it to arrive. One of the things that I have learned in my own journey is that if I forget what I already have abundance of, I literally make no room for anything else to come in. And I also need to pay attention to the times when I've put out the request and it's been answered, but it wasn't how I thought it should be answered or would be answered. It's answered in a very subtle way. I had that experience just yesterday. Want to know? Reach out, I'll tell you. But it reminded me, hey, you had put this request out. Why are you getting nervous and putting this into a, well, I don't know. Careful what you ask for, right? Hey, it might just leave you on Melancholy Hill. I don't know. Next up, we got the Word Lord. A master of communication, the Word Lord is here to remind you of the laws of abundance and praise. Working with this ally, you can begin to see the importance of what you put into the world when you speak or send something in a message. It counts. If you bless the world, it blesses back. Now, whether or not any of you rolled your eyes on that, I felt one when I was typing that out. Because some will go to great lengths to be kind to others in this world, but feel like all they're met with is negativity. A quick veering off, but similar to this, is to remember that you may never see the impact that you make in the world when you're kind. Hear that again. You may never see the impact that you make in the world when you're kind. You may be met with passivity or negativity, but what you don't see is the rest of the day or week. You have no clue what you may catalyze. But before we move on, let's turn the praise and words inward. Your body responds differently to praise from how it does to criticism. You know the difference. You don't need it explained. When you praise yourself, you can literally change the energy within, change the mindset, change the circumstance. It speaks of the Word Lord speaks of using affirmations and speaking I am into existence. But if you're not yet convinced, because if you say, I am abundant, I am, include anything here. And there's a part of you that argues. It's okay. You can go back to affirmations. Ask directly why it is that you're so damn amazing. Why am I so damn amazing? Why is it that I am so talented? Why is it that I can turn any negative situation into a positive simply by changing my mind? Ask yourself questions about who you are and how it is that you're able to do that. And then start affirming it. And I don't know if you love you, but I'm still loving you. The River Queen. This divine feminine flows into your life to remind you about the laws of unattachment. Think about the natural flow and cycle of water. Rains fall, gather in pools. The pools run off to streams. Streams become rivers. Rivers flow into oceans, all the while heating up and evaporating into the air, becoming clouds. And under the right circumstances, the cycle starts all over again. Now, this is an arguable point, especially when there are lakes and ponds that don't go anywhere. Or don't they? It's not a perfect model being described, and neither is your life. Or is it? When you are faced with an obstacle, realize that it's perfect the way it is, and that you can flow around it if you allow yourself to. Are you following the currents? Are you landlocked? Is life stagnant because there is no forward motion? Well, remember this: time is not stagnant, it's not even linear, but it's always in motion. The River Queen seems to be an ally that would never try to swim upstream because she forgot something. Seems that she would be the type to hold herself in position only long enough to let the forgotten catch up to her, or release her grip and flow downstream and allow those who are in the current to catch up to her. You may be in a different flow from others, and that's okay, regardless of what that looks like in real life. When you're going with the flow and just staying in the alignment of your life, staying in your authenticity, who you really are. Sure, along the rivers, we're going to face rapids, we're going to face waterfalls. But when you stay in the flow, then and only then will you realize that nothing else matters. I want to run an experiment. I want to see if I can cause your phones to change their algorithms just by making a few suggestions. Like looking for a gum that is going to help my teeth be better. You know, like that Laringco advertisement. Or I wonder if something is going on in Oregon that we don't know about. I'm just pulling things out as I think about them. What else? What else can I try and get your phones to listen to and your devices? I wonder how many varieties of amethyst there are. If your phone changes, if you start seeing other things in your feed because of things that I say, let me know. I want to see how this experiment goes. I want to see how strange the algorithm can get just based on what we say and what it hears, even if it's not out of our mouth. But that's not where I really want to take this. That was just a metaphor. Because when you follow the algorithm of your mind based on the thoughts that just randomly pop up, depending on what you latch onto, can determine the experience you have. What you latch onto can determine the experience you have. Because you cannot have an experience in your life without a thought. And our computerized brains, the algorithm that's up there, is more random than a Facebook feed. Tangential, changing, altering. And for those who are a bit like me with neurospice, and you start having a conversation, you could be talking about one thing and fall down a rabbit hole and be talking about something completely different in less than 5 minutes. What are you paying attention to? What are you giving energy to? You have something in your hand right now, or it's leaning up against a book, or you're watching on a screen that's watching you. Think about that. And it's trying to mimic your thoughts and pointing you in the direction of what you pay attention to. That's the second part. So if you ever wonder why you keep running into the same things over and over and over again, it's because that's what you pay attention to. And anything else is uncomfortable. You scroll past it, right? When you're scrolling through the thoughts in your mind, what do you pause on? When you're scrolling through the ads, the stories, the posts, the pictures on your phone, regardless of what social media app, what do you stop on? Do you find that you're stopping on the same kinds each and every time? You're training not only your mind, but you're training what it wants to show you, what it's going to show you. Remember that, because it's mimicking your thoughts. And to the point where sometimes you could literally be thinking about something, not say a word, and all of a sudden it's in your face. How many times have you had that happen? To keep doing what you want to do, what you want to pay attention to. Because those little devices in your hand, whew, like your brain, they are so into you. Oh, Michael, you asked about the gremlins. Well, I don't know if they're actually going to tell you about the gremlins, but there's some interesting stuff here. You start off with the ace of coins. You didn't do it. Actually, you did. Okay, so we're going to tell a little story here, okay? It's a story of a man named Michael, okay, who planted a seed, and he has been tending to it, doing exactly what he needs to be doing to get to where he needs to be. Okay, you're giving it the right amount of sunlight, you're giving it the right amount of time. Deborah's like, huh? Sorry to confuse you. He knows what I'm talking about. He knows exactly what I'm talking about because somebody told him that he couldn't do it, and that was a seed that got planted. And then, see, the downside of putting too much focus in on that Ace of Cups, all right, because this came out on its side. There's too much focus of the can I get through this? I'm going to get through this. Oh, look, I got through this. There's that tug of war going back and forth. Well, guess what? It's not completely external. It's mostly internal. And you know why I know that? Because you have the Three of Swords on its side, where there's that constant battle on the inside of being worth it, being worthy, being able to accomplish what it is that you're going to accomplish, setting the tone that you're going to accomplish it, going through all of this, all the steps to make sure that it happens, and you make it happen. However, once you get to wanting to make it happen, then that internal voice that is haunting you sabotages your energetics and flies out because it's not been healed yet. It's been addressed. It's been, we've learned how to deal with it, how to think differently about it, but it hasn't been released. It's still there. And oh, by the way, I'm being asked to tell you that there's something around you that is helping along with this burst, saying, oh, cool, I get to play, I get to play. Boom. Yeah, it's a gremlin. And it's not going to go away with wishful thinking. Seven of Swords reversed. It's just not. It's not going to go away with wishful thinking. The solution is literally right in front of you, and I think you may have found it, but you won't know until you make that test. What have I been telling people lately? What you feed sticks around. When you are negative with somebody and they are negative with you, and you continue to feed their negativity with your own negativity, they got nowhere to go. They're going to stick around and they're just going to keep perpetuating the problem. So if you continue feeding this, I'm not worth it, this isn't going to work, oh God, here we go again, to this energetic that's dancing around you, having a good old time, lighting a bonfire, having some s'mores, mhm, making your life miserable because you're feeding it. You may not be intending to, but you are. Why? Six of Cups reversed. Thought bubbles. Stop. Repeat after me. I am worthy. I am enough. And how is it that I am so amazing that I am going to make this work despite myself? Well, I know the old you would have given up by now. The old you is trying to give up. It's still very much alive inside. Hug it. Love it. It's part of you. Okay. Oh, Sheila. We're going to start you off with the Ace of Air, which is the Ace of Swords, and it's in reverse. Now, you're feeling that push to get something done. You're feeling that push to do something new, and you're a little bit concerned that it's going to cause a ruckus, cause a problem. But here's the thing that is in your mind. There's a hint of reality to it, yes. But the level to which that it actually affects you is not determined by what happens to you, it's what happens through you. Know the difference. You've felt the difference when you are grounded and when you are present. So, in exploring the newness in your life, be present in that moment so that you can appreciate it, so you can stay true to who you are. And, that shield will come up that bounces off the verbal attacks, because most of the time that's all it is. It's verbal attacks that you wind up taking personally and having an experience with because it attaches to a feeling that you've had in the past. Doesn't have to be that way. You've had breakthroughs. Six of Earth, Six of Coins reversed. You've had the breakthroughs. Don't poo-poo them. Hold on to them. Hold on to the breakthroughs. Hold on to the victories that you've had. Make victories in your life. Find reason to celebrate. You've been working on being more spontaneous with me and sending me reels in private. Now work on celebrating your victories and celebrating you a little bit more, because chaos is on its side. You can lean back into that tower that's burning. This is the Tower card. You can lean back into that tower that's burning, or you can start sweeping it up. OCD much? Yeah, I'm using your words now. You've been through so much. You've survived so much. The fuck you scared for? 'Cause? 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 'C when you get those feelings of fear on the inside, there's a subtle difference between actually being afraid and the body preparing for something that it knows that it needs to do, but it's uncomfortable. There's a there's a subtle yet huge difference between those two feelings. And once you recognize it and plow through it, knowing you got this, knowing you've survived other things, it's just going to get easier. But could you, for the love of all that is, start to be tender with yourself? Asking for a friend. All right. Michelle, you know, it's funny that you mentioned about something happening last night that I mentioned. It's kind of ironic. You know why? Because the judgment reverse card come up. Who's being judgy bitchy? Somebody being judgy bitchy. And they just need to stop. You no, here's the thing. Stop accepting it. You don't have to accept what other people say about you. You don't have to accept that their truth is your truth, even if it's somewhat close to the truth. It doesn't matter mean that it's the actual truth, because the actual truth is not unattainable by human beings. Period. So when we get in our feels, get in our zones, and hands on the hips, back and forth with somebody because of judgment. Oh shit. Yep. Well, that explains the last card in your reading. Yeah. See, that messes with the home front. Four of Wands in reverse. This is the home front card. And I mean, as if it wasn't already rocky, but now it's just like, oh, you done fucked up. Yeah, calling it like it is. I knew exactly who it was. Oh, hell no. And see, that's why, don't laugh. I know Bubble Kittens is going to laugh. But that's why this card was no surprise when it fell out. Knight of Swords reversed. Because that feeling that most people try and avoid. Oh, girl, I'm glad they're locked up in a cabinet on one side of the room and the fillers are locked up on the other side, if you catch my drift. If you know, you know. Because please don't cause more trouble, don't cause more problems. Oh, I won't say that. But this is the answer you've actually been waiting for. That's the hard part, and that's the hurtful part, is that you have been wanting proof for a while of your suspicions, and you now have it. So you now have the ammunition to do what you need to. And what's even better is now you have a way legally to gain what you need in order to be able to take care of yourself somewhere else. Thanks, hubby. Appreciate that. Because I was asking for a way that she could be helped. Well, he just gave it to her. Okay. Final message of the night. Midnight Spiral. This goes out to the insomniacs. You say you'll go to sleep soon, but the hours slip through your fingers like sand. The quiet of the night becomes a trap. One more episode, one more scroll, one more thought you can't control. You know the cycle, and you know the cost. What are you anxiously avoiding in the daylight? Find trust in the surrender and faith that it's working out for your highest good. Because it is, if you have trust in that. If you have doubt in that, well, the universe is not going to say, hold my beer. The universe is just going to continue drinking it. I hope you guys have an amazing night. I love you guys so much. You have no idea. Love yourselves. Keep going, keep glowing, keep growing.